Yeah, took 10 minutes to play the last 59 seconds of that game. I think the crowd was pleased with that, but we're pleased to get a win. I thought we showed some improvement in the areas that we were deficient in against Charlotte. And Phil Johnson really had to do a number with these guys here the last few days because I was sick, wasn't here Thursday. And Friday didn't do much, and I thought our guys defensively in screen and roll coverage and staying between their guy and the basket for the most part was better, which is a credit to our team trying to improve late in the year. A lot of teams just aren't competing this time of the year. They've pitched it in. We don't know who we're going to play yet. We won't know until tonight. I'm sure it'll be somebody that has given us some problems somewhere along the way. They've had our challenges with those teams that are in that group of 9, 10, and who's going to finish in that area, 9, 10, 11, in looking at them. So they'll all be problematic. We're going to go in there with spirit and try to play, but whoever we're playing against is going to do the same thing. I thought that our crowd was terrific for this late in the year and what has been a year that's had its ups and downs, but that's why this is such a great job. Because it is important to the people, and they do care about it. And I thought that we looked like a team for the first 30 minutes of the game, 25 minutes of the game that hadn't played in a week. We were really rusty offensively. We looked like a team that had put its emphasis on the defensive end in the first half, which we had. We got a little better offensively in the second half. I remain concerned when we shoot the percentage that we shot from the three-point line tonight. 64.9, I think. And the percentage that we shot from the floor in the second half, 69.6, okay? And we win by 7 points. Means that there's things that are going on with your ball club, and we put them at the line too much. But you can also point to us from the standpoint that we missed a lot of free throws. 20 for 40. Maybe if we make those free throws, we're not talking about other areas. And generally we should make somewhere around that 28, 29 mark at the free throw line tonight, but we didn't. Still like our team, really believe in our team offensively. And our challenge in getting through a tournament will be, can we come with back-to-back defensive efforts and defensive board efforts. And our kids will be excited. They're looking forward to it. When we made our plane reservations, we had to make them in order to save money at the time when we were 3-6 in our league. We have now won 7 out of 9, so we don't have to play the day earlier when we made our tickets, which we thought we were going to. So we'll be leaving tomorrow at 3:15. Any of you need any sound bites or footage with our players, feel free to get them from them in the locker room before we go. And concerns with the tournament. We appreciate all the support that we've had from the El Paso media this year. One more time, it's been awesome. All of you guys chose to be here today instead of the Monster Truck Show, which I think is a real credit to you. And where we are in terms of our mindsets with the media here in town, which still remains important. Do y'all have any questions that you'd like to ask me?
They opened up in that full court press and took you 4 or 5 positions to get into offense. So it was kind of a surprise.
Yeah, it really wasn't a surprise. We talked about it. We worked against it a little bit yesterday. But we had that lineup out there that, when you start senior night and those guys were, nervous. I mean, they looked like they'd done something wrong and showed up at church, we were nervous. And so we were, really kind of on our heels there and didn't play well with that group in. And then we had a group of guys coming off the bench who weren't used to coming off the bench, games in the flow. And all of a sudden, San Antonio's got their head up a little bit. Now they're playing against a press. And everything's a little bit unusual on senior night. And I thought we had a lot of those moments tonight.
Going off senior night, Irvin Moore has 23 points. How big is that for him going out the Don Haskins?
Well, I think Irvin is a guy whose confidence has highs and lows. And going into the tournament, he's the one guy that I would say, boy, you'd like for him to have a good game. and for Irv to feel good about himself going over the tournament. And then you always like to see a senior have some nice moments at home.
You guys have gone on some big winning streaks this year. How does that for your confidence going into the CUSA tournament
Well, it'd be
championship?
nice, wouldn't it? We've had a 5 or a couple of 6-game win streaks. It'd be great if this would be the first game in a new 6-game win streak. It'd be awesome. It'd be awesome. But there's so many teams in our league that can beat you. We've seen Rice go to Old Dominion and win. I think Old Dominion's terrific. Old Dominion's lost a bunch of 1-point games. Charlotte loses, so many close games. When you look at them, 2 and 3-point losses, and then they'll turn around and just thump somebody like Middle Tennessee on the road the other night, where they had us down 18 with 9 minutes to go. So we really are going to have a lot of respect for whoever we see. Rice is a team that had us beat at home. North Texas State felt like they got cheated after they left here at home because we were fouling one of their players who missed free throws there at the end. We had them beaten, but they came back. They played well. So we've got a healthy dose of respect for any and everybody that we're going to see.
Now that the league has been together for 3 years, does it make it easier, if you could say that, to go in and prepare to play back-to-back nights because there's a little bit more familiarity with personnel?
I would say that's a fair assessment. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you do feel like you know teams a little better. You know what they're going to try to do to you, what they're capable of doing differently in terms of playing small or playing big, or what type of defenses they might switch to.
Has the struggle of the season kind of been, being streaky, winning 6 games twice in the season, losing 3 to 5 games? That up and down streak of winning a lot, losing a lot, has that been a real struggle?
Yeah, it always is because losing is still the hardest thing about what I go through, and as a coach, it's just the hardest thing to deal with. And I think it's hard for players, but not as hard for players. And this team, when you think about what's happened, you can generally point to 10 new players. Let's think about it. Terry Wynn did not play last year. Dominic Artis did not play last year anywhere. Lee Moore did not play last year anywhere. Okay, those guys were big time part of what we were trying to do. Hooper Venn had been a spot player his whole career, but we had 10 new players we were trying to integrate into team basketball. And that's what it is, team basketball. And getting that message across that the ball has to move, that if somebody gets beat, somebody has to help them in defensively. Those things take time. And this team should be much better next year. I think it could have been incredible this year with Vince Hunter, with Matt Well, with Josh McSwiggan, who everybody in this town is going to love when they see him. This kid can really, really play. Okay? So 3 guys that arguably would have been starters on this team. And so the job that these other guys have done, and we have not tried to make a big deal about it all year long, I think has been really extraordinary at times. We've had real issues on the defensive end because we don't have a presence in the lane. We have no presence. So we've had to mass defenses, change defenses. At the same time, do all this by adjusting to a new college game with a very tight whistle, as our fans observed tonight in the final 7 minutes of the game. And that puts, substitutions in, now more new guys into the game. So, a lot of challenges. Proud of our team in a lot of ways. Really proud of Dominic Artis making the All-Conference USA All-Academic team, the 3.7 GPA this year. This man came in here with a little bit of cloud over his head. He's handled himself extremely well and really has done a great job and used that time away from the game to prioritize his life. And El Paso's been very good to him, and he in return has tried to do his part. So I'm really, really proud of him.
Coach, you mentioned a couple of times on your radio show about possibly getting Lee Moore an extra year of eligibility. When does that process start?
It will start this summer.